Hello, this is GenXPCGamerGuy, and this video is about making lots of money using a fleet carrier and a T9 spaceship. How you do that, generally, is you take advantage of a community event. In this case, the goal is to provide items to Alcor, and in particular McDonald's Settlement. One of the items that we chose to, our guild chose to supply are thermal cooling units. It seems to have a good profit, approximately 26K per unit as shown here. First, the reason why the carrier is important is you park the carrier away from the main event, because a lot of people will park their carriers near the main event and try to grab up all the units of a certain thing near the event. In this case, we decided to go over 100 light years away from where the event, to sell the items for the event. I'm just showing an outside of the view of the ship right now, and my team's fleet carrier. I don't own it. I'm going to take advantage of it for this video. If you can, you park it really close to where you buy and as close as you can get when you sell. A lot of times players with these larger ships like a T9 have to make multiple jumps to get their items. In this case, this Gare terminal is very close in relative distance from the carrier. I'm going to set the Super Cruise as shown here, so we'll get there relatively quick. It's pretty simple. What the goal is here is pick up as many units as you can of this and put them on the carrier. Since I don't own the carrier, what it's going to involve here is me buying as many units as possible, and the carrier owner will buy them. Some people may try to take advantage of that if you say the carrier to public. In this case, it's just a squad only carrier in buying and selling items. As we get close to the terminal, within 7.5 kilometers, we request docking. Now, the T9 is pretty bulky. This is kind of like a well-equipped T9 for engines, power plants, etc. So we're getting decent speed in the auto dock process. And if you end up at a terminal, especially at the end destination where you drop it off for community events, the terminals can get pretty crowded. So we picked a place that seems to have the items we want, far enough away not to be too popular and too crowded, so we should be able to load up the carrier relatively quick. You just follow the standard auto docking, go into the station. In this case, I'm going to be landing in a moment on pad 25 because this is a large vessel, so you get the largest pads to land on. And yes, my ship talks in French. I just chose that one time. It's kind of neat. I love auto docking. Used to have to do this manually, way back. So Starport Services, Gare Terminal. We want to go to the commodities market, and we're interested in buying what I was showing earlier, the thermal cooling units. It's going to show I can fill up 720 in my current layout. It cost me 2.2 million credits. Immediately, you just want to exit and start your auto launch. And now set up your navigation back to the carrier. It's pretty simple. And since both are relatively close to each other, and if you can find a station where your carrier will be placed nearby, that's a bonus. Again, I'm showing the outside of the ship, inside of the ship a little bit. Not much to do when you're doing the exit here under auto control again. going through the slot. The camera doesn't apparently follow you through the slot. So back to first person view. Again, I've said this in prior videos, exiting and escaping, woo, that was close. Exiting a station is not as problematic as entering a station. They might chide you if you were headed too quickly towards the station, but I've never had an issue of speeding when exiting away from a station. Usually by the time you get back, you're forgiven. So right now it says speeding, but I am charging the jump drive right now, frame shift drive. It's a little slow there for a minute. So not even 1 light second away, the carrier is. Once we go into frame shift, I set the super cruise. There's nothing in the way. Should be a straight shot to the carrier within whatever 1 mm listed there. Here we go. So we make our way to the carrier as quickly as possible. So we head towards the carrier as quickly as possible. Still, like the station, you have to get within 7.5 kilometers before they will accept the request for docking. I've been used to much faster ships, and so doing one of these events reminds me how lucky I have it generally with other ships. But those other ships can no way carry as much as a T9. As you can see, I'm headed towards the carrier. Not much to do until I dock, so I'm just playing with the camera at the moment. My friend isn't online right now, so he's not loading the carrier. This is actually my first load. He told me he moved the carrier, and so I can start loading it up. As we dock here, we'll find out how many units of the thermal cooling units he's going to allow me to sell to him. And this is common for a lot of teams, is they generally have some big fleet carriers. They find a place that's not that crowded, and buy all the units they can, try to fill up the carrier as much as they can, and they send the carrier on its merry way towards the final destination. I'm just going to show one loop here, and then I will cut up this video to show you after we jump, or maybe I'll show the jump. I'll show the jump and what happens almost immediately after the jump. There, I'm selling back to the carrier, and I'm actually making a slight profit off my friend, but it's all cool. We're all good with all this. He will allow me to sell 4,000 more units, so that's roughly 6 more trips. That's what you do over and over again. Now this is later, after the carrier is almost filled. It has a few thousand units left, but that might be something he didn't open up that last bit of space for thermal units. We're full up, as many as we can hold. This, if you've never seen a carrier jump, this is what it's like when you're on the carrier when it jumps. So a couple minutes out, you can't see any, you don't have any services. I'm actually putting myself into the carrier at this moment. You can see down below there's a countdown. I'm going to speed it up if I do some post-editing. They disabled some of the services, and now they allow you to go back out and look what's going on right now. As you can see down below, it tells you what your current system is and where we're jumping to. Apparently we couldn't get to the Alcor system, it's full up, so we're going to a nearby system that may be 1 or 2 jumps there fully loaded, but it's definitely 1 jump on the way back when you're empty. A lot of cargo ships have great range, but not when they're fully loaded. Okay, there's 5 seconds left, and now here we go. And now we're entering hyperspace. I would love to see this from the outside. Sometime I'm going to have to watch the carrier go. Supposedly it's quite an experience. But relatively boring at the moment. Transversing hyperspace. That's good. What's next? Be patient. I don't know how long this phase takes. Exiting hyperspace portal. I bet if you knew exactly where it was going to be, that would be a cool picture as well. I've tried to do the outside view. It doesn't work. Well, I don't own the carrier. It might work for the carrier owner. Owner of the carrier just said, "Yep, the jump is finishing up in the bottom right corner." All right, now we've arrived. So it's time to get loaded up. If I'm not already loaded up on the ship right now, or my T9 isn't already loaded up, it's time to fill the cargo holds. And my friend is online now. He told me to be online and when the jump was, so I'm here. While he's online, we're going to head to McDonald's Settlement. This is where in Alcourt it's going to be the community event is. We are relatively close at this moment. One second while I figure out how full I am. I only have 192 units on board. I'll buy the rest. So I'm buying back from the carrier after I sold them to the carrier. I guess I should have stayed loaded. Took 2 efforts. There we go. 720. We do the auto launch. We already set up the navigation. So the only thing to do now is let the carrier raise me up. I always interrupt this. Loitering infraction? Ooh. Guess I should interrupt it a few seconds later than I did. I haven't seen that before. I'm getting impatient. So there's Alcor. It's a nearby system. Actually, we're only 3.89 light years away in this particular jump. The system we're in wasn't full at the time we did this jump, which is great. Gotta get far enough away from the carrier to make sure the mass locked is not happening, and it went away. And now here we go, jump. And I've done this run before on other community events. The star is 2,000 light seconds away, so we're gonna have to run the gauntlet, potentially be intercepted on the way there. Since my friend is online, we're running a private server right now, so we're not going to be intercepted by players, but there's a lot of NPCs that will intercept us or attempt to intercept us at times. Sometimes both of us, sometimes one of us. So here's the star. We've jumped into the system. Immediately I'll start heading toward the McDonald's settlement. So it's 1,834 light seconds. I'm going to set up the auto cruise. If I can find the settlement. Should have just put stations. There we go. There, now it's easy to find McDonald's settlement, so I can set up the Super Cruise Assist. I don't want the Super Cruise immediately to take over because it will slow us down a little bit as it gets there. Game's telling me to slow down. There must be a nearby body in my lineup here. Just trying to stay. I wonder how close I can get without it automatically aligning for the Super Cruise. Yeah, sometimes you get impatient for this game because things are a long distance away, but this is part of the charm of the game, is it actually looks like a real galaxy, acts like a real galaxy. Things, in this case, you can see the orbits. You can turn that off if you want, but it's amazing to see the orbits of the planets, the moons, settlements. I don't see any contacts about to intercept me here. From that view, you don't see any lines, nor should you, orbital lines. But sometimes, from the inside, if you look out, you'll still see the orbital lines. And you can't be too comfortable. Sometimes other bodies are in the way of your final destination. So if you walk away from this, sometimes you'll end up slamming into stuff. And my friend's reminding me I have to sign up for the community event before I can sell it, otherwise I don't get credit. So we're going to do that when we get in the station. So these community events you do have to sign up for. And they have different levels of prizes depending on how much of the event you participate in. In this case, how many items that you drop off for this event. And I'm just looking around in the cabin here. Unfortunately, these last couple of light seconds are usually pretty slow. Still no interception yet. I'm grateful. I'm not asking for one. Please, no. When we get under 1 light seconds, the unit changes to meters. Million meters. I think that's what the MM, not millimeters. Maybe it's 0.1 light second. Oh, we're close to that planet. Or moon. Tell me to slow down. No way. Not while I'm loaded up with goodies. This isn't the most lucrative run, but this is a event that lasts nearly a week, so it's consistent money. And that's what my goal is, to spend as much time while this event is going on dropping off cargo. I have about 500 million credits now. My goal is to become a billionaire, and if I can reach 2, I will reach 2. I'm not sure how many runs I'll be able to make in the days ahead. So this is the first run of this community event that I participated in. And there's people up there on the left that are targeting gankers. And gankers are just people who try to intercept you on the way to a big event. Now, what do we call this? The Pinwheel of Death? The Arms of Death? Depending on which side of the station you turn up, the entrance may be on the other side of those big swing arms. call them swing arms. In this case, it looks like we're on the proper side. Myself and my teammate have hit those arms, letting autopilot do it. Sometimes we're very wary and careful about not walking away from the computer while this part happened. Here we go. This is the only station I've seen like this type before with the big swing arms. I'm told there are others with more, like 4 of them. I'm guessing that would be hard to get by. 2 is hard enough. 4 of them? And here's the advertising in the game. Let's go for a landing here. Pad 25. Again, large landing pad. This is the first time for this event, so yeah, gotta remember to sign up first. Should be one of the first things I do here. Mission board, community goals, and here's the event. So we're at Alcor, the other place is Colonia. Sign up in the bottom right there. And I'm signed up, and now I sell my items. So in this case I brought 720. I use this probably for the beginning of the video just to show you what item we're collecting. So I made 21 million in profit just from that one run. And you can see, and all you do is repeat this loop. You go back to the carrier, but now I'll show you the community. Now it shows I have credit for 720 units collected. And over there to the right tells you what percentage you are in. Right now I'm in the top 100%, which means my next goal is do enough units for it to be top 75. Eventually, here's the screen. I made my goal after the event was over. I made my goal of 2 billion credit. In that one event, over a couple days, I made a billion and a half credits. So I'm a multi-billionaire now. My friend has a lot more credits in his bank account, plus he already bought his carrier and things like that. When you're a billionaire, a multi-billionaire, and what a couple multi-billionaires do to take a break? Well, we go exploring. We're both playing Odyssey, and while we play Odyssey, we search new worlds, get out. You get credit for being the first one to make footfall or map in an area. But you also have time to screw around. I'm in the blue vehicle down below. That's my friend trying to test out. What else would you do? Trying to jump things. So that was a good jump. And he and I have been doing nothing but we've been doing anything but cargo runs at this point, so we spend a lot of time exploring all these different planets. We're learning about, Odyssey's different options, like searching for genetics. So down below there's plant life that we've collected the genetics for, and that's the end of my video. Thank you for watching this, and I am PC Gamer Guy, and have a good day. And I recommend this game highly. Bye-bye.